Super Hikiyami Moriko Turbo HD Remix. Hello minasan, Hikiyami Moriko desu, and welcome to another indie game. This one's called Intensive as Care Unit, and it's by the developer AzureXTwilight and other people like Irvan, Elseth, which you might remember from other games I play, such as I think Frost and Flowers and Apricity. I would like to say it's been a while since I played those games. GUI, Enajori, and NSAID, right? So it's multiple developers in this game. Let's just start the game. It's my first night shift during residency today. Mom and Dad had always wanted me to follow in their footsteps to become a specialist. Mom was a pediatrician and Dad was a neurosurgeon. What is this? Grey's Anatomy? I followed their wishes and got accepted to residency, but all I want is to get a good night's shift. Something tells me it's not gonna be a good shift. I can say I had high expectations for my first night shift in the ICU, but if I know it will be this gloomy, I might try to get more than 3 hours of sleep. From the moment I walked through the doors, I felt like step into a different world. Maybe you did. The lights are dim, the beeping is constant, and the whole atmosphere feels like it's one bad day away from a horror movie. You know, I never like how hospitals feels to begin with. And I don't even work there, right? I can just imagine. I found Satria, who is supposed to be 1 year my senior, in the staff room looking like he just crawled out of a zombie movie. I mean, yeah, he looks terrible. Man, are you okay? He was practically a zombie with dark circles so deep they could double as eye sockets, his scrubs were advanced, and he had this dazed hollow look on his face. Good evening, senior. My name is Leah. I know, drop it. Just be casual with me. Oh. You're the first resident, right? Are you ate your dinner already? Yes. Good, you'll need all the extra calories. Do I get a snack? Anyway, welcome. Sadra doesn't give up the seniority vibe in residency unlike some of my peers. I have been told that residency is like being part of some medieval hierarchy where you're the lowly maid and everyone else is a noble with a stick up there. Well, you get the idea. But then there's Satria. I mean, the guy actually seemed nice? Yeah, I know, it's almost hard to believe. I'm supposed to do a night round with the junior a shift before me. Do you know where they are? Satria blinked at me like I just interrupted a really intense daydream. Something's wrong with this guy already. They went home. Why would you go home in the middle of your day of residency? That's sus. He just sounded like he'd been gargling gravel. I wonder if it'd be like that after a year of residency. Probably. Is everything okay? Anything I can get you? He managed a foul-haired grin that did nothing to reassure me. Nah, just one of those nights. Anyway, this means you'll be doing the night round with me. Let me explain everything, kid. Listen well, because I'm not repeating anything for you. Okay, let me grab my notebook in case I need it. In case I need to note something. So you guys know I like to use my notebook in case I need something. Okay, I'm ready, Satria. Teach me. Alright. Here's the deal with night shifts. It's a whole different beast. We're understaffed, so it's basically just you, me, and, well, one... That seems dangerous. Wait, one nurse for the entire ICU? He waved his hand as if it was nothing. Who needs nurses when there are residents, am I right? I mean, I don't care if it's resident or not. We need more than 3 people for the ICU, right? We're stretched in, and it's a bit of a juggling act. The ICU usually got more hands on deck, but tonight it's a skeleton crew. So expect things to get a little interesting. I glance around the ICU trying to picture the lone nurse trying to handle everything. I'll do my best. Good. If you're lucky, she will be able to cover all the bases, but don't count on it. We'll need to pitch in whenever we can. So I'd like you to take charge of the patient bells. Patient bell duty? What does that involve? Like checking the rooms? It's exactly what it sounds like. You'll be the one answering the patient call bells. Every time a patient hits their call button, it's your job to respond. It's one of those tasks that get handed off to the newbies because it's... Well, it's hella boring but crucial. So if someone dies, it's my fault then. Amazing. I had already been dreading the prospect of juggling everything else, and now I had to deal with constant interruptions from call bells too. Here's how it works. Each patient room has a call button next to the bed. When they press it, an alarm goes off the nurse's station. Well, it will if we had more than one nurse on tonight. So you'll need to be the one who gets up and checks on them. Are you explaining the gameplay to me? I feel like it's just like he's explaining the gameplay to me. Understood. Alright, Leah, let's do a quick round so you know what we're dealing with tonight. Sutter led me through the dimly lit corridors of the ICU. He stopped in front of the main nurse station and gestured for me to follow as he began his impromptu tour. We start at room 101. Room 101. This is Angela. I'm just gonna note the names to Angela Liam. 7 years old, recovering from post-dengue shock. Oh my god. She's stable but still needs monitoring. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna Angela Lim and I'm gonna write dengue, right? Sweet kid, but she's been through a lot. I bet a lot of pediatric patients you deal with the parents mostly. I peered through the glass window of the room, seeing a tiny figure nestled in a bed, her mom sitting anxiously beside her. Her mom looks kind of familiar. Saturn led me to room 104. What happened to 102 and 103? Are they empty? Here we have Mrs. Selbina. 47 years old. She's on a ventilator because her liver. Oh my god. Well, I don't know what did I expect from the ICU. Liver cancer. Ventilator. I don't know if I'm gonna need this information. Her condition is critical. She's gonna die for sure, right? We can get hold of her family yet, so no, do not resuscitate, right? I glance at the room where a ventilator hissed rhythmically and Mrs. Selvina lay still. Next, we move to room 108. A bunch of empty rooms, it seems. So should be okay. Like, not a lot of work, right? Oh! that got me for a second. As well to pass room 108, a loud crash jolted me, followed by the sound of someone or something thrashing around like a wild animal. What was that? This is Mr. X. What do you mean, Mr. X? It's a John Doe? We basically found him on the streets. He's in delirium. Okay, delirium. There has to be a problematic patient, right? Drugs in his belongings, probably OD or something. Think something is crawling inside of him, a pain in the ass. Really just try to handle him with patience. I just noticed this game doesn't have a save option. I think this is load. Morphine every other hour or so, he'll let us know. So we're just gonna let him fight his imaginary demons in there. Until he starts tearing the place apart, then we sedate him. Anyway, you definitely need to keep a check on this one. Okay, I'm just gonna mark him as important here in my notebook, because that's bold letters. So finally, we are right at 1010. Mr. Joko. Wait. What happened to 1009? Mr. Joko. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing these names. I'm not sure. Are they like Malaysian or something like that? Indonesian, probably. 75 diabetic. Diabetic gangrene that caused a septic shock and just had a leg amputation. He's going through a rough spot and can be a bit grumpy, but he's generally manageable. That happened to my grandparent. I mean, he's dead now, but it's not a nice thing that should happen to anyone, to be honest. Sadra glanced at his watch and sighed. Shift starts at 9 p.m. and runs until 7 a.m. You get a mix of serious cases and one that's going to test your patients. Try to keep track of their needs and be ready for anything. Yeah. So the one I have to give priority is 108, right? Which is Mr. X. And I probably shouldn't let 104 and 110 die because they're like the critical condition ones. Got it. Any tips on how to deal with the patients while I'm at it? Sadr gave me a worried look. Dear Shell, be polite, be efficient, and try not to let them see how frazzled you are. The call bell might seem like a nuisance, but it's there for a reason. Keep an eye on the frequency of the calls. It might give you clues if something's wrong. He pauses if considering whether to add more. Also, be prepared for the occasional strange request. It's the ICU, after all. People and things here are usually not in their right state and minds. What do you mean? Yeah, I was about to ask it. You'll see. Saturday looked like he was about to collapse on the spot. Just do your best, kid. We're all running on fumes. We'll get through it, and if you need anything, we'll try not to hesitate. Almost forgot, since we're working at an ICU, try to answer the patient bells as fast as you can. Okay, so fast. Be fast. Okay. Any call might be someone's life and death. I mean, you can just undo your mistakes in real life, right? Are you saying I can or I cannot? As Sutter shuffled off the doctor's call room, he moved so listlessly it was like he was gliding through the shadows. Seriously, the guy looked like he was part of the decor. I bet that's gonna be me after a year. I made my way to the nurse's station towards the patient's bell call. What's with the look on that nurse's face? I love it. The nurse on duty who had been entrusted to me as part of the skeleton crew for the night was standing at the desk. She looked up as I approached, and my first impression was that her face was so pale she almost blended into the background. Something's definitely wrong with this. You know, I just noticed that Leah looks, the main character of this game, looks a lot like the doctor. I forgot the name of the doctor. Madoka, I would like to say, from Deathmark. She looks, you can Google it. I'm gonna put a picture over my face or something. I'm Leah, the new resident, just checking in. What? Why are you looking at me? She's looking at me. The nurse didn't respond. Instead, she just stared at me with vacant eyes and nodded. It was as if she was too tired or overwhelmed to offer any kind of greeting. Alright then, I'll be around if you need anything, or if there's any news. What? But no reply, just silent nodding, and it was like talking to a very pale, very silent mannequin. The chill in the room seemed to grow thicker with every second, and the silence was starting to feel like it was pressing in on me. I turned and headed back towards the patient rooms, trying to not let the oppressive atmosphere get to me. Did the lights just flicker? Yeah, they did. Probably my imagination. The ICU was dark, eerie, and every sound seemed to amplify the sense of unease. It's like Satri and the nurse were just the icing on the cake of this unsettling shift. I took a deep breath and braced myself. This is gonna be a long night, and something's gonna happen, right? No? Okay, no. I stood at nurse's station, eyes on the patient's bell monitor. It was one of those moments where you try to pretend you're not staring, but it's impossible to look away. The monitor was supposed to make my job easier, but right now it was feeling like a bad omen. Oh. Out of nowhere, the fierce bell rang not just once but 3 times simultaneously. My hair skipped a bit as I glanced at the monitor. Rooms 108, 110. Flashing with alarms. Okay, 108 is Mr. X and the diabetic patient, right? But then, room 10... Wait, I didn't got any information about 112. Empty. This one's empty. Is it a ghost? 110, 110. I pressed the intercom button. I remember it being Mr. Giacomo Muldiano's room, the elderly man who recently had his leg amputated. Sutter said he was one of the more stable patients, or at least he had been. Hello? His wife's voice cracked through the speaker, soft but urgent. Mrs. Muldiano. Excuse me, nurse? My husband has a fever. He's not resting well. I'll be right there. I made my way to room 110. Yep, he's not having a good time. As I entered, the first thing I noticed was how warm the room felt, stuffy almost. Mr. Muldiano was in bed, his face flushed and profusely sweating. He was asleep, but his body was restless, twitching as if something was bothering him, even in his dreams. Good evening, ma'am. I'm Dr. Leah. May I check Mr. Muldiano's temperature? Please go ahead, doctor. I checked his temperature, definitely a fever, nothing too alarming but enough to need attention. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a vial of paracetamol. Of course you did. Preparing to administer it. Shouldn't you be, checking, glucose or something else? I don't know, I'm not a doctor. This would get the fever under control. As I injected the medicine to his IV, I felt the presence of his wife hovering next to me. Miss Muldiano seemed like a sweet elderly woman, the kind who remind you of homemade cookies and knitting by the fireplace. But tonight something fell off. Maybe it was just my imagination though. Thank you, doctor. I glanced up, meeting her eyes. She was smiling, a kind grandmotherly... It looks kinda weird to me, but there was something strange behind. Oh yeah, I couldn't quite put my finger on. Well, maybe she's just worried about her husband. Probably. That makes sense. Of course, he should get better soon. You're very kind, doctor. We are so grateful for everything you're doing. Just doing my job, ma'am. Is there anything else you need? Oh, she said. No. He's tired, dear. So very tired. Are you going to kill your husband? Or something? Pardon? She didn't respond immediately. Instead, she just kept the unnerving smile fixed on me, her eyes boring into mine. I checked Mr. Muldiano's vitals one last time, my hand shaking slightly. His fever was starting to calm down and he seemed to be slipping into a more peaceful sleep, but the room still felt too suffocating. And Mrs. Muldiano kept smiling, never once moving. He should be fine for now, just let me know if anything changes. Miss Muldiano said nothing, just nodding silently as I turned to leave. What? What? I could feel her gaze boring into my back, the eerie smile still hanging in the air. I thought it was going to jump scare me. The dark click shut behind me as I exhaled, afraid, and didn't realize I'd been holding. What is wrong with my first shift? I rushed back into the nurse's station, trying to shake off whatever just happened. Again? I stood at the nurse's station again when the bells for room 101, which is Angela, the little kid with dengue, and the room 103, which I don't know who is in room 03, and room 104, which is the liver cancer patient, right? In a ventilator. Yeah, not this again. Room 103 was empty, completely. And utterly empty. So why the hell was the bell ringing? And room 104 has Miss Albina, who was unconscious and paraplegic. She couldn't ring the bell even if she wanted to. I think I should be checking 104, right? I glanced at the nurse who was still standing there, eerily mute, as if the chaos around us didn't even register. What the hell is going on with this night shift? Satria, my ever-reliable senior, just let out a sarcastic laugh. Well, seems like there's a welcome party for you. 101. I pressed the intercom button on room 101, half expecting something out of a horror movie, because I don't want to go to an empty room because I feel something bad's gonna happen. And I have to check on the little kid, right? Instead, Angela's mother's voice crackled through the speaker. Doctor, Angela's IV drip is running out, thankfully. I went to this room. Could you come and replace it? I'll be right there. Realized that it was something straightforward, finally I grabbed a fresh IV bag and made my way to the room. Oh, the poor little kid. But as soon as I walked in, the atmosphere felt off. Again? Not again. Angela's mother, Mr. Lin, was standing by the window, her expression a mix of worry and something else I couldn't quite describe. Her daughter seemed to be asleep peaceful in her bed. Excuse me, Mrs. Lim. I'm Dr. Leah. I'll be replacing your daughter's IP drip. Doctor, wait. I'm sorry to trouble you, but... There's been knocking. On the window. This window? Aren't we like a 5th floor or something like that? It's been happening for a while now, but when I look, there's no one there. Probably just the windman? She just looked back at me. Or I could check for you. Every time this game zooms in, I feel like I'm gonna get jump scared. I moved to the window, opening the curtain and peering out into the darkness. Nothing. Just a faint reflection of the room behind me and the dark sky beyond. I shook the latch just to be sure, and it was securely locked. I mean, that's good, right? It's safe, ma'am. Nothing out there. She just gave me an uneasy smile as I started to replace the IV drip. Something about her took at the back of my mind. You kinda have the same eyes, but I don't think that has anything to do, right? I feel like I'd seen her before. Are you on social media or something, Mrs. Lim? Your surname is familiar. Yes, I'm a tic-tac model, Veronica Lim. I see. She didn't respond, just turned back to the window. She was holding her left wrist, and for a moment I thought I saw some bruising marks on them. As I finished up with the IP, the unease in the room seemed to thicken. Seems like I shouldn't have asked. Just press the bell if you need anything else. Angela's mom nodded again, but her gaze remained fixed on the window. Are you and your daughter like being abused or something? As if she was waiting for something or someone that wasn't there. I quickly left the room, sighing to myself. Feeling thirsty, I wandered into the doctor's lounge. Sutter was already there, leaning against the counter while stirring 2 cups of coffee. He handed me one with half a smirk. Hello? I don't like your eyes. I know you're tired, but that's not normal tired. Thanks. Hang in there, kid. This is just your first shift. Hey, this is what I signed up for. Easy for you to say. You're one of the blue bloods, aren't you? Everyone knows about you. What was it? Mom's pediatrician, dad's a neurosurgeon. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's walk in the park. They are always comparing me to them, telling me how much harder I need to work. I don't even want to be a doctor anyway. Number one thing you don't want to hear your doctor say, right? Still, must be nice though, having parents who made things so much easier. Wish I had that kind of luck of my family put everything into getting me here. Now it's for me to make sure it's worth it. Oh, it's poor people versus rich people, right? Everyone has problems, and they are valid problems, okay? I look at him, really look for a second. I got a glimpse of the weight he carried. Well, I guess we're both just trying not to mess it up. Yeah, something like that. I leaned back, taking a longer sip of the coffee, letting the silence sit for a bit. So, why did you decide to be a doctor? Honestly, for my parents, it's not like I had some big passion for it or anything. They are not well off yet. Well, it felt like the only way to give back. Really? Yeah, I mean, they sacrificed so much to get me here. It's on me to make it count. That's the right attitude to have, to be honest. Plus, they are not going to be able to help my sister much longer. I figure I could chip in with her uni loans. When I'm out of residency, you know? That's heavy. Yeah, well, it's not like I can quit now. But why emergency medicine? Of all the specialties, you choose the one where people are literally running in and out non-stop. I didn't exactly choose it. It was the only one available through the scholarship Yeah, that happens, I guess. I had to take what I could get. Oh, so this isn't your first choice? I mean, it's fine. I don't hate it or anything. It's weird because now Satria feels like a real person, but I don't trust him still. But if I'm being honest, it was never really about what I wanted. It was just about making sure I could get through med school without bankrupting my parents. Satria stretched it a bit before grabbing his things. Anyway, I better get back. The nurse seems inexperienced. Just before he left, he passed out the doorway and looked back at me. Residence is brutal, kid. There's still time to leave if you don't want to be here. Hang in there, okay? Before I could respond, he gave me a small smile and disappeared down the hall. Not again! The clock struck midnight and the ICU erupted into chaos. Every damn bell on the intercom rang out like crazy. Okay, I have checked. I'm gonna wait. I haven't checked Mr. X, and I haven't checked. Wait, Mrs. Albina. I haven't checked Mrs. I have to go to 104 or 108. Yeah. What's happening? I have no freaking idea. It's like the whole damn place is losing it. So 4 or 8. The ringing bells drowned the voices, and I was struggling to speak. I felt there was a robot from what? From our helpless patients? I guess. Then I noticed the nurse, the one who hadn't spoken a word since we started. Oh, she's panicking. Is this a drill? By the way, the art style of this game is amazing. Oh, so she was a human after all, thank God. A drill? At this goddamn hour? The nurse took a step back, looking ready to faint. I don't know, I'm a new employee too. Nobody told me about this. Leah, just press the button. 104 or 108, right? Just answer an intercom. Maybe it'll stop. Roger that. 104, right? I will go with 104. I pressed the intercom button for 104 and was greeted by a loud crash, the unmistakable sound of something shattering on the floor. Hello? Mrs. Salvina? No answer, I quickly rushed to 104. Oh, I mean, it's too sad, but now it's not haunted. As I turned on the lights, I saw a cup of tea lying in pieces. Who left a cup of tea in this patient's room? There was no one else in the room but Miss Salvina, who was unconscious in her bed, oblivious to the mess. Jesus Christ, seriously? I crouched down to inspect the shards of glass, looking for any sign of how the cup ended on the floor. There was no obvious cause, no one to knock it over, no sudden movement that could have sent it crashing. It was as if he had just decided to jump off the tail of sheer spite. Okay, focus. It's just a cup, just a cup. A cup there was no cleaning service inside, which meant I was the one in charge of cleaning it. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. As I moved to clean up the mess, I felt a shiver run down my spine. I couldn't help but glance at the window, half expecting to see something or someone watching me from outside, and Mrs. Salvina thinking she could just jolt awake at any moment. Hold it together, Leah. I quickly gathered the pieces of the cup and turned to leave. But before I could... Alright, but before I could reach the door, I thought I heard a faint whisper, just a breath of sound like a warning. Something spooky is gonna happen. I froze, my heart racing as I glanced back at Mrs. Selfie. She remained still, her breathing steady but shallow. So it was not her, right? As if this night couldn't get any weirder. I quickly left the room, huffing to myself. Hey, what happened to the music? 3 bells rang out at once, 108, 101, and 105? 105 is also empty, right? 101 is the little girl, and 108 is Mr. X. I'm gonna keep evading Mr. X because I want to see what happens. Obviously, I feel like this game has multiple endings, right? Because there's so many choices to make. And I want to see what happens if I ignore Mr. X. So I'm gonna go to 101 again to check on the little girl. Ground room was Mr. X, who is convinced someone was crawling under his skin. 101, Angela and her TikTok famous mom with TikTok famous mom. And 105, it's empty. So 105, it's empty. 101. I pressed it. What is happening? I pressed the intercom button on room 101 and it was Mr. Lim again. Her voice sounded even more urgent. Dr. Leah, there's knocking again. It's fast, like something's trying to get in. Please, can you come? Of course there is. Man, she looks so concerned. When I entered, the room was dim with just a faint glow of monitoring equipment. Mrs. Veronica Lim was sitting beside Angela's bed, her face even paler than the last I saw her. Doctor, I'm sorry for bothering you, but it's been happening more frequently. The knocking, it's almost like it's demanding to be let in. As if on cue? Oh. The sound started again, sharp rapid knocks that seemed to rattle the window. I took a deep breath and went to the window. Here we go again. Am I gonna get jump scared? No? I pulled it up. Why did you open it? If it's begging to be let in, why do you open it? I pulled it open, half expecting to see something or someone on the other side. Once again, there was nothing. The knocking had stopped immediately as well. It's fine, Mom. There's nothing out there. I mean, she's completely losing it. Mrs. Lim shook her head, her eyes welling up. Isn't there like a bathroom or something else in here that could be making the knocking? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm losing it. I've been so stressed out. My baby, I wasn't there for her. My job, with all the pressures on social media, kept me to... That's excuses! I don't accept it. I abandoned her when she needed me the most. Maybe I just my guilt haunting me. Probably? But I also heard the knocking, so not so sure about that. For a moment, I wasn't sure what to say. An ICU where people died and went to critical conditions seemed to feed on fear and guilt, twisting it into something that could reach out and touch you in the dark. What's important is that you're here right by her side during this critical time, ma'am. She nodded, but her expression didn't change. The knocks had stopped, but the unease lingered. Yeah. After excusing myself from... I feel like something really bad's gonna happen, but nothing is happening, and I'm losing it. I walked back to the nurse's station. The nurse was sitting there alone, tapping her pen on the desk, looks more bored than anything else. When she saw me approach, her eyes lit up. I wondered if she wanted to ask something about Mrs. Lim. You know Mrs. Lim? Who doesn't? She leaned in closer, about to spill some tea. Like metaphorical tea, right? Word is that Veronica Lim was having an affair with some famous actor, big name in the industry. Her husband found out that that's why he's nowhere to be seen. Left her to deal with everything on her own, even his own kid. Can't you believe that? Oh, so that's why he's not here. Yep, rumor has it the whole thing was a huge scandal, but they kept it hush-hush because, you know, reputation and all that. But everyone in the know, well, they know. And how do you know? What? I felt a sudden playful smack on the back of my head and turned around to see Satra grinning like a mischievous kid. No more gossiping on the job, Dr. Leah. You're supposed to be professional here, or I'll tell on you. I rolled my eyes, rubbing the spot where he bumped me. Yes, sir. I was just, gathering intel. Sure, let's call it. Okay, so I already checked on Angela twice. I checked on Sylvina once. I checked on Yoko once, right? So I should check on Sylvina or Yoko again. He chuckled as he strolled down the hallway, disappearing in the shadows. Try to keep it classy, okay? Oh! Oh, I didn't check on Mr. X, damn, it's gonna kill me. Suddenly, room 108's door swung open violently. Mr. X, with his wild eyes and disheveled heart, burst out, throwing away all of this medical equipment as if it were potion. Just after me! Satra, we have to stop him! We chased after him, but he was too fast, too frantic. I have to run! I can make it! He bolted in an empty room, but before I could reach him, he lunged for the window. Sir, this is the 5th floor. Yeah, we are on the 5th floor, so there's no way there's knocking. He jumped and I felt time stretch as I... Oh my god. Okay, I should have checked on him. The sickening thought going through the halls and the air filled with the haunting sounds of gamelan and President's song. Look, I don't know what those words mean, but we have Google, and I guess I'm gonna search the words because probably we're gonna learn something. Gamelan, right? It says the traditional ensemble music of the Javanese, Sundanese, and Balinese peoples of Indonesia. Okay, so it's an Indonesian game made up predominantly of percussive instruments. Okay, that's a new word we know now, and that's why I love about these like international games like this, folklore games, that you learn a lot of new things. You not only have fun and get spooked, you learn stuff, right? And the Presidents. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, right? But new word to me. President. It says it's an Indonesian female solo singer who sings with a gamelan. That we just know what it is. They may perform in dance, wayang, or klenengkan. I don't know what a wayang is. I feel like we're gonna be searching these words forever. But we are learning stuff, and it's interesting. Wayang is a traditional form of puppet theater play originating from the Indonesian island of Java. All right. Obviously, there's so much more to this, but I'm just gonna read the basics, right? So we know what it is now. It's some kind of like drums with a female solo singer, right? An eerie lullaby that seemed to mock the tragedy. I stood frozen, my heart pounding, when a woman's laughter pierced through the haunting melody. It was as if it was coming from the very depths of hell. No. No. The sight of his lifeless body sprawled on the ground below broke something inside me. My vision blurred and the world around me spun as I sank to the floor, darkness closing in. I mean, understandable. Then suddenly I was awake in my work attire. I was awake in my work attire, my heart racing in my own bedroom? Wait, where am I? The familiar walls around me and the night shift felt like a distant nightmare. You mean like I'm dressed for work, but I'm in my home? I blinked disoriented, and for a moment I couldn't shake the feeling that it had all been real. I checked my phone, and it's the day before the night shift. So I went back in time? It was supposed to be tomorrow. The hell? I frantically turned on the TV, and there it was on the news. Tragic news from City Hospital. Ganedra Sanjaya, the once prominent CEO, has jumped to his death from the hospital building. So he was Mr. X, Ganendra Sanjaya. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, doing my best here. Sources say he was struggling with overwhelming debt from online loans, a situation he found himself entangled in after a series of poor financial decisions. Isn't this the Tic Tac woman? My stomach twisted at the screen, flash images of him smiling with a woman who looked like the President woman. Who's the President woman? Is that like a generic look? Like you look like a president? I don't know. They looked so happy, so full of life, now that joy was gone, leaving behind nothing but despair. Witnesses report hearing strange sounds coming from the hospital moments before the incident. Authorities are investigating the sick. But how is he dead if I went back in time? I stared at the screen frozen, the laughter, the singing, it all came flooding back. I felt sick. Was this all connected to the night I had spent at the hospital? As the news continued, I couldn't shake the feeling that the nightmare wasn't truly over. Mr. X dies. So I guess that's one ending. Mr. X dies. Okay, so I'm gonna start again. I mean, it's a short game, so I guess I can play it multiple times. Alright, so obviously what I'm gonna do now is... There's no skip button, which is pretty inconvenient for something I have to play multiple times. So I'm just gonna pick Mr. X all the time, right? Which is 108. I'm gonna go to 108 every chance I have. Can I just skip this real quick? I mean, I could load the game. It has 6 automatic saves, so I guess there's like 6. Wait, there's no 6 options because I only choose 5. There's only 5 choices, right? I went to Angela twice. I went to... Wait, there's only 4 choices. Wait, there's 6 saves. I don't know. I'm just gonna play it again. Just gonna click fast. You know, if the game is gonna have a looping mechanic, which I love, by the way, maybe it should be like a skip to the next choice option. Usually, visual novels have like that skip to the next choice option, right? Like around here. Right, alright. So 108, right? Oh, there's also the option to go to the empty rooms, right? So I guess I'm gonna do all Mr. X now, and then the next one I'm gonna do all empty rooms, right? 108, right? I press intercom to 108. Good evening, sir. It's Dr. Leah. What's going on in there? A long unsettling silence followed, broken only by the humming of ventilators. I was about to repeat myself when I grabbed a voice through the speaker. She's inside me. His voice crackling with pain and something else. Fear, maybe? Her hands scratching, trying to get out. I mean, I had to prevent his death, right? So I'm gonna focus on him now. Sir, there's nothing under your skin. That's not true. We have like blood and bones inside our skin. You're just experiencing a symptom of your condition. No. His voice was louder, frantic. I could hear the sound of him thrashing his bed, the bed frame creaking under the force. You don't understand. It's her nails. I can feel them. Digging. Sir, just breathe, okay? I'm coming in to check on you, but you have to stay still, alright? No reply, just a whizzing laugh crackled up and the intercom, making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I reached the door to room 108, bringing the sedatives with me. Suddenly, everything was eerily quiet. Groggily, I glanced down the hallway, hoping to ask for assistance from Satria or the nurse, but I was alone. I took a deep breath, steering myself as I pushed open the door to 108. Oh. I should have let Sarah take this one, Satria. Mr. X was thrashing violently. I am gonna die, right? His hands were clawing at his own skin, scratching. I don't think I can die, because if I die, how do I look? Covering his arms where he tried to dig out whatever he believed was inside him. Help, please! Please get her out. I can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna to sedate you, sir. It'll help with the pain, but you have to let go, right? As I reached for a syringe, he grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. Let go? Let go? She's in me! Her nails, they are cutting through. She's going to crawl out of me and into you. She'll tear us apart. His grip tightened, and for a moment I could almost feel it, a sharp cold scratch just beneath my own skin, like nails, dragging through flesh. My stomach turned, but I forced myself to stay calm. It was just a delusion. It's just the drugs. It's just paranoia. I injected the sedative into his IV, and Mr. X, breathing slow, his thrashing subsiding as the sedative took effect. But even as his eyes floated shut, he kept whispering to himself, She's coming. Okay, I have to keep a look on this guy. I backed out of the room, trying to calm my trembling hands. But then, as I stared down the hallway, something stopped me in my tracks. It was faint at first, a soft melodic hum that seemed to drift through the stillness. Who the heck is singing at this hour? I paused, my ears trying to catch it. The sound grew clearer and my blood ran cold. A peasant was singing. Peasant? I don't know how to pronounce it. Her voice was haunting, laced with a sorrow that seeped into my bones. And as if it wasn't enough, there was a distant clink of gamelan orchestra began to play along with her. Oh! Okay, that's the first glance of a ghost I see. The hell's going on? It was coming from Mr. X's room. It couldn't be from his phone or TV. The peasant's voice was so close, it was like she was standing right behind me, singing directly into my ear. I half expected to feel her cold breath on my neck. She's coming. And then, just like that, the music got off. Oh, thank God. Everything... So, he kind of passed me the curse or something? Maybe I had too much coffee. That's it. I rushed back into the nurse's station trying to shake off whatever just happened. I stood at the nurse's station again when the bells to room 101, 103, and 104. 101 it's Angela. 103 it's empty. And 104 it's Selvina, right? So I will... This time I will evade all the patients, so I will go to 103. Not this again. Because if I go to Selvina, it's just gonna be the cop again, right? I'll just go to 103. As I was about to press the intercom button, I stopped in my tracks, a chill creeping up my spine. The room was empty. No patient, no reason for the bell to be ringing. I turned to look at Satra, expecting him to react, but he just frowned and shook his head. The room is empty, right? Yeah, it is. Could be a glitch in the system. Happens sometimes. His casual tone didn't convince me or on him, judging by the way he glanced down the hallway. My hair started to raise as I stared into the darkness. Do you want me to check it out? Knock yourself out. If you see anything spooky, remember to scream so we can run away. Great, just what I needed. A sarcastic sinner and a haunted hospital. I approached from 102... Wait, wasn't 103? Wait, what? Wasn't I checking 103? Not 112? When I finally reached the door, I opened it as slowly as possible, almost shouting. Excuse me? The room was pitch black. It's just an empty room. No big deal, just an empty, possibly haunted room, yeah. My hand fumbled for the light switch, and when I flicked it on, the lights turned on, revealing... nothing? Nothing? Absolutely nothing. The room was exactly as it should be, empty, sterile, and completely devoid of life. And yet, I don't think it should be completely devoid of life. And yet the cowbell was still ringing, even though there was no one there to press it. Holy moly. I quickly stepped back, slamming the door shut behind me. I hurried back to Satra, and he looked as unimpressed as ever, that bastard. Well? He didn't even bother looking up from his coffee. There's nothing there. But the bell. The bell's still... Satra finally looked at me, his expression darkening just a bit. I just keep an eye on it, sometimes these things happen. Or you know, we could just pretend it didn't. Up to you. He didn't elaborate and I didn't ask. It's just still a long way to go. This is about the same as the other time, right? Easy for you to say. I don't even want to be a doctor. Like, this is the kind of scene I should be able to skip, right? Let me just check the itch.io page real quick to see if there is a way to skip. It says... Leah, a junior resident, steps into her first night shift in the ICU, expecting exhaustion, not trepidation. Alongside her senior Satya, this shift begins to unravel its unsettling ways, bells ringing from empty rooms, whispers crawling through the halls, and the dead returning with unfinished business. What? As Leah confronts a new intrude, she begins to question, is this night shift outside the bounds of reality, or is she crossed over herself? And it's a content warning, features 14k words, which is a bunch of words, multiple endings and epilogues, ghosts from Indonesian folklore, which I absolutely love. We need more of these games. I have played like 3 or 4 games that are from Indonesian folklore, like horror games, and it's absolutely amazing. I think like we need more of this. Press the bell gameplay, my favorite kind of gameplay. Paranormal site inspired animations. I don't know what that means. A very brutal and unforgiving night shift. We have some credits, but it doesn't give me the controls. So way to skip it. I guess you cannot skip this game. Again, it's not as long that it's just annoying, but I feel like you should have the option to skip it. Okay, I have to go to Mr. X if possible, then if not, in an empty room, right? Every damn bell on the intercom rang out like crazy. "108. I pressed the intercom from 108 and the sound of Mr. stretching immediately filled the speaker. His voice, even more frantic and broken than before, cut through the noise. "She's out!" "Pardon?" "She's out, but I can still hear her. She's here. Help!" "Sir, I'll be there in a... Ah! Sir? You hear it too, don't you, Doctor?" Damn it, is she in me now? As I listened, something else crept in, something familiar. A Pesindent song, I keep mispronouncing it, sorry. Soft at first, like a lullaby from hell, getting louder and closer with each second. The song drowned out Mr. X screaming. The hairs on my neck stood on its end as her voice wound through the static. Oh! It inched closer and closer until it felt like she was right here in the nurse station instead of Mr. X's room. I can do this alone. I bolted toward room 108, dragging the new nurse with me despite her protest. The eerie wails from Mr. X still echoed in my ears as we rushed down the dimly lit hallway. He's not here? Oh, he already jumped? When we were in the room, the bed was empty, the song had also stopped. Sir? I looked to the window, but it seemed like it was jammed shut. Over there! The nurse pointed Mr. X hovering under the bed, his white eyes glinting with terror. Sir, what are you doing under there? I knelt down trying to see him better. Don't scream to me like that. Before I could get an answer, the nurse beside me let a blood-curdling scream. She stumbled back, blurring her foot, eyes wide with fear. Doctor, something's scratching me. Oh no. It got the nurse? It's under the floor, scratching me. A cold chill ran down my spine. Scratching, the horrible feeling from earlier was back, and it wasn't just in my head. The nurse felt it too. Whatever was done there, it wasn't done with us just yet. But helping Mr. X came first, I had to sedate him. Mr. X was still trembling under the bed, his eyes darting around like he was seeing something I couldn't. I injected the sedative into his arm, trying to ignore everything else while the nurse covered behind me. Just breathe. His eyes fluttered closed as the drug took effect. I turned towards the nurse. Are you okay? My mom said being a nurse is an honorable profession. It is. I'm just here for the bite. But that's valid also. It's okay, he's asleep, let's get out. But as I turned to leave, the silence was shattered by the haunting sound again. The peasant song. I didn't wait to see what will happen next. Let's go already! Let's go! Wait, is this? What is this? This is like the bed? Why is the hallway looking like this? The nurse grabbed me by the arm. We bolted out of the room, the song echoing behind us like it was chasing us down the hallway as we fled back to the nurse station. I didn't even realize that the corridor had somehow become even darker than before. Okay, but this looks normal. We didn't stop until we were back in the dim safety of the station, gasping for air. The song had faded, but whatever was happening in room 108, it was far from over. Satre was there. He raised an eyebrow when he saw us running, but didn't ask anything. You know something. So, Satre, do you know anything about Mr. X's background? I mean, besides the obvious nightmare we just dealt with? Satre leaned back, his eyes fixed at the ceiling. There's a rumor that he used to be filthy rich. But you know, classic tale. Lost everything, bad investments, gambling, drug addiction, who knows? Really? How come? When they found him, he had the music, it's already failing. He had this ridiculous expensive watch on him, like the kind that could pay off a car. No one's sure if he stole it or if it was his, but it's the only thing he had left. We kept hearing a gamelan song and someone singing. Saturn didn't even blink, just shrugged with, yeah, it's just a ghost, man. It happens every time. Maybe it's a vengeful lover haunting him or his ex-wife, who knows? Or maybe the music's just in his head. I know it's in yours too. Satya, what's wrong with you, man? Either way, it's absolutely none of our business. I couldn't tell if he was being serious or just messing with us, but either way, I did nothing to calm the two of us. This is way above my pay grade, yeah. And I'm not even getting paid. You're getting paid with education. Satyajus smiled, the infinitely calm smile, and with wordlessly reached to the counter and poured 2 cups of tea. He handed one to the nurse and one to me. Here, drink up. He'll help calm your nerves. The nurse and I exchanged a glance, still too rattled to do anything. Finally, I took a sip away, trying to shake off my doubts and fear. The nurse did the same. If Satya could be this relaxed, maybe we could survive the rest of the night, or maybe he was just as crazy as this place. Maybe. 3 bells rang out again, 108, 101, and 105. 105 it's empty, but I can go to 108. I will go again with. I groaned. Room 108 was Mr. X, who is convinced someone was crawling under his skin. Angela and her tic-tac famous mom with the mysterious knocking. But how do I know that she's a tic-tac mom in this? Do I keep the knowledge from a previous loop? Or, like, the game doesn't care and just tells me anyway. And room 105, it's empty. Let's go to 108 again. I pressed the intercom for 108 and something was different this time. His voice was calm. It's over, Doc. Uh-oh. You're not gonna jump again, right? I did things differently. I rushed to his room. When I got there, my stomach dropped. Mr. X had disconnected all of his equipment, the monitors flatlining behind him. He stood up by the window trying to pry it open, hands trembling with determination. Shit, what are you doing? He didn't answer, just kept fumbling with the window latch like a possessed man. This room felt colder, heavier, and then I heard it. The peasant then singing again. The haunting melody slid through the air, growing louder. Oh, she's there. Yeah, this game reminds me slightly of Deathmark 1 specific. And just like that, she appeared, her figure materializing in the room, moving closer with every note. She was beautiful in the most unsettling way. I mean, I guess she's beautiful. Her smile wide, her eyes dark and empty. Mr. X whipped around, pointing at her with a trembling hand. Understandable. You're dead. This isn't real. You're not real. It's your wife? But the woman only smiled wider. Yeah, I can see that. A slow, creeping smile that spread to her ears, contorting her face into something grotesque and inhuman. Her eyes locked onto him, and the air in the room felt like it was being sucked out. No, this is real. The woman stepped closer, still singing. She raised her hand towards him, her fingers curling like she was about to claim him. And she whispered. Gandendra. That's his name. So he is the rich person, and this is the wife then. Fatima? Her smile widened even further, condensed with a malice and dripping with venom. Before I could react, her hands shot out, wrapping around his throat. Oh god! Whew, beautiful CG. Mr. Ganendra's eyes bulging as he gasped for air, his hands clawing frantically at her grip. Stop! I screamed, rushing forward, trying to pull her off him. But as I grabbed her, she turned, face twisting into something horrific. Her beautiful features morphed into a monstrous figure. Her eyes were not black pits, mouth too wide for her face with sharp jagged teeth. The air grew thick with the stench of decay. Jesus! I know it's a little bit anticlimactic, but can you guys let me Google Translate this? I really want to know what it's saying. It's my fault for not studying Indonesian before, right? So it will be... I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this word, so it will be like hidep. Wait, it doesn't translate to anything. Wait, translate for Sundanese? It says, Hideb threw me now, Hideb has to pay instead. Translate from Sundanese, which... I didn't even know it was Sundanese, so... I need to learn more stuff. I know it. Thank you, game, for educating me into this kind of thing. Back to the game, I guess. So... He killed her then, right? That's what I'm getting from this? Probably. She tightened her grip around his throat, and Ganendra's face turned a sickening shade of blue. I jagged at her arms, but it was like trying to move a large rock. Mr. Ganendra's shock gas filled the room, his eyes begging for mercy, but the ghost, Fatima, or whatever she had become, only laughed. I fumbled for the intercom, my hands shaking, and pressed the button, barely managing to work out the words. Help! Anybody! Wait, too much people in this. When the moment Satra burst into the room, prayer beads in one hand and a small pouch of salt in. You know exactly what was happening. Why did you didn't tell me? What's wrong with you? Without a word, he threw the salt across the room, the grains catching in the air like tiny sparks. The ghost woman Fatima screeched an ear-piercing wail that made my skin crawl, her monstrous figure twist and contorted as if the very air was burning her. With one last deafening shriek, she vanished, leaving behind nothing but an icy chill in the room. Mr. Granda slumped to the floor, gasping for breath, his body trembling. Great. Shatrian's face turned the prayer beads back into his pocket, whipping his hands on his scrubs like he'd just taken out the trash. I rushed to Mr. Granda's side as Satria administered his meds, and he was already calming down once more. We carried him back to his bed. Satria, she said he did something Kudumaya Cantina. What does that even mean? Satria's face darkened, his usual sarcasm replaced by grim seriousness. Probably you offered me up, now you have to pay the price. Okay, so the Google translation was almost correct. Thank you, Satria, for translating. That woman, she might be in a tumbal, a sacrifice in some kind of ritual. Let me Google that up. Hey, we are gonna learn stuff together, you want it or not. It says sacrifice, korban, victim. Alright, not much to know about that. It seems to be a movie. There's a movie that's called Tumbal the Ritual. I'm gonna open it. Maybe we can do a watch along if it's a good movie. Well, let's just keep playing the game then. Sacrifice? She was my girlfriend. I used her for a ritual to get rich. I didn't. God damn it, man. I didn't think she'd come back. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just a ghost. This was revenge. Now everything is going wrong. I've lost everything. Just leave me alone. I don't need all of those injections. Satri just shook his head. It's our job to treat you, sir. Whatever you did in the past, you need to atone for it. While waiting for an argument, Satri could administer a sedative. Mr. Ganendra's eyelids fluttered as he drifted off into unconsciousness. You got a lot more to answer for when you wake up. As we stepped out of the room, I could shake the weight of what just happened. I never thought something like this, that still exists in this day and age. His own girlfriend? What kind of person does that? People will do anything for money. Like B2B, except I don't make any money. Curious, I pulled out my phone and googled Ganendra's name. What I found sent chills down my spine. He was some sort of CEO for a startup living the high life. I stumbled upon his social media filled with pictures of him and a woman named Fatima. They looked so happy. Well, before everything went south, that is. It felt wrong to see those smiling faces now, knowing what happened. This dude had it all. I can't believe it. Yeah, now he's left to atone for his mistakes. Mr. X sleeps. The bell rings again. Wait, 3? Which is empty, right? Man, that got me by surprise. Okay, so... And I choose 103 then, right? I pressed the intercom button for 103, not knowing what response I should expect. Oddly enough, I was met with a soft, heart-wrenching crying of a young woman. Satria? Can you come over here? I think we need to check this out. Satria shuffles over, a lazy smirk on his face that dropped the moment I heard the subs echoing through the intercom. Oh, creepy. Can we check the room together? Or maybe we don't have to. But what if someone really needs our help? Fine. Satria shot back, rolling his eyes. He followed me regardless. As we approached the door, the crying intensified. I felt like tightening in my chest, but curiosity pulled me forward. I hesitated, my hand hovering over the doorknob as the crying suddenly stopped. Did you hear that? Yeah, but whatever it is, it's gone now. Are you sure? Yeah. Anyway, on 3. Empty but very dilapidated. With a deep breath, we pushed the door open. I saw the room look different just now. I canned the room. I felt expecting to find some curled up in the corner, but instead it was eerily empty. There was no crying, no sign of distress, just the sterile smell of antiseptic and the dim glow of the overhead lights. I glanced at Satria, who looked like a deer in headlights. Where's the crying coming from? Like I said, it's gone. Come on, let's head back. Maybe you need a rest. As we stood there, I couldn't help but feel like something was very, very wrong. The crying had stopped, but I didn't think it was over. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I thought it would be over the moment I saved Mr. X, but he's a terrible person, so I'm not sure if I should save him. Like it was the beginning of the shift. The bell rings again. Okay, so it was Mr. X, empty, Mr. X, empty, right? So I choose 103 now. 104, 110. That's damn it, I failed. That's the diabetic patient. Sorry about the dog. You know how my dogs are. More of stable patients. It's the same thing that happened, right? So regardless of when I do it, it happens. The same thing happens. So I choose 110 here, but I think that was a mistake. It's about the same thing, right? Man, the progression in this game, it's confusing me a little bit. It seems to be 11, it's empty, right? Yeah, 11, it's empty. Just let it be, it's not worth it. My heart raced as I pressed the intercom, hoping to hear something, but only silence answered me. Hello? No response, just an eerie silence again. I finally got to the empty room, reaching for the doorknob, an icy breeze brushed past me. Oh! That's what I've been expecting to happen for the past like 5 times that I opened an empty room. Why are you laughing at me with the stock laugh of RPG Maker or something? Hello, she's kind of beautiful, to be honest. I know something's wrong with me, but this is a beautiful ghost. Curious, sir. Do you want to play? Okay, nope, not doing this. I bowled down the hallways as fast as my legs could go, the sound of her laughter hot in my pursuit. Satria, I need your salt and your bits. Whatever has hunting this place felt hungry, searching for something or someone. Oh gosh, she's not after me, isn't she? I ran to the corner in a full sprint, heart pounding when I slammed straight into Satria, nearly knocking both of us over. Wow, hey, no running in the hallways unless it's an emergency. Satria, there was something in the empty room. A woman, or I don't even know, but she was there, I swear. Oh, really? There was something off about him since the beginning of the game. Satria? His smile was too stiff, his eyes were darker than usual. Are they? I feel like he's kinda crooked, but... His smile didn't reach his eyes, and for a moment I could swear the hallway lights dim around him. You saw her too, didn't you? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. What does it... Are you possessed now? I didn't know what terrified me more, what I saw in the empty room or the strange way Satria was acting. Something wasn't right. Maybe you should go back to work, Leah. Things get strange around here after midnight. Yeah, you're right. Uh-oh. It seems like the curse or whatever is reached this place. I walked towards the nurse station again, not sure if I was more afraid of the ghost or Satria at that moment. Why is the nurse station so dark? I was relieved to see the nurse standing there, eye close to the monitor. Hey, you won't believe what I just saw. The empty rooms? Best if you ignore it. So you knew. I know that this hospital's been here since the Dutch colonial times. Back then, it was a military infirmary. There was a widow who lost her husband during the war. People say she never left, still wandering the halls looking for him. Oh. Yeah, if you keep entertaining her, she'll take a liking to you, you know? And not the let's grab coffee kind of like, more like the hound you forever like. Hey, maybe we can be together forever. She's kinda cute. Great, just what I needed. Oh, she's there and she's cute. You cannot scare me with beautiful ghost. Suddenly, every shadow in the corner felt like it was watching me. I might have made a very big mistake. The bells ring again. Okay, so I can take 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. Or 8 too, right, Mr. X? Just something that it's empty. 4 or 10? 4. Which is Selvina again, right? So this is gonna happen. I haven't checked on the little girl, so at a chance I'm gonna check on the little girl. So this again, right? Yeah, it's about the same thing. So things can just happen regardless of... There's no timing to some events, right? Which it's weirding me out because I don't know when do I complete the game. I feel like this is one of the games I won't be able to 100%. So I'm probably gonna finish this run and I'm gonna leave it to you guys. It was just decided to jump off the table if she spied. Yeah, this happened last time. I quickly left the room. The bells ring again. So I choose 104 again, right? Yeah, I choose 104 here, which was probably not the right thing to do. It's like, I have to choose quick, but I'm kind of nervous about this. 101? I have to check 101. I haven't checked 101. I don't want any patient to die. I pressed intercom pressing for the horror movie. It was Angela's mother. So the IV is running out. So every room has a story to tell, right? Which is about, I'm guessing, about like 3 interactions. But I first have to attend Mr. X, so he doesn't die, because if he dies, it ends and I got sent back through the loop, right? So this is about the same. Again, a skip button will be amazing for this game. I think the only thing preventing me from actually completing the game is that I don't want to be seeing the dialogues over and over again. Yeah, the tic-tac. It was finally 6 AM, the end of my first grueling night shift. I was ready to head home, barely able to keep my eyes open when I noticed Satra standing by the exit. Hey man, you look still really creepy, but his silhouette framed by the morning sun almost different somehow. He waved me over with a faint smile. Yo kid, thanks for everything. Sure, I didn't do much. Are you dead too? Yeah, but still thanks. Okay, you sound like you're saying goodbye. There's still more shifts in the future. Nah, you won't see me again after today. Take care of yourself, alright? Are you like a intern ghost that's protecting the first time doctors? Before I could ask what he meant, he gave me a final wave, stepping into the sunlight. And then just like that, he was gone. No footsteps fading, no doors closing, just gone. I stood there, my mind spinning. Had I imagined it? And the nurse was not real too? The night had been long, sure, but this felt strange. Everything can wait later. For now, bed. As I collapsed out on my couch, still thinking about Satra's strange words, I mentally scrolled through my phone. That's when I saw it. Satra, the manic medical resident, dies in a single motorcycle accident at 7 PM last night. Damn. So he died, but he still managed to get to the hospital, right? And that's why he didn't care about the ghost, because he was one ghost. Wait a minute. But we were working together at 9 PM, weren't we? He was still alive then, right? I scrolled through the comments, heard pounding, people were mourning him, talking about how kind he was. But if he died last night, then who was with me on the shift? A chill crept up my spine as I replayed our final conversation in my mind. His calm words, the way he disappeared into the sunlight. Was it real? Had I just worked an entire shift with Satra's ghost? I leaned back and closed my eyes, whispering a solemn prayer for Satra. You're telling me my boy Satra just lived a very depressing, poor life, then managed to become a doctor and he just died? That's too depressing. For his peace and his journey, wherever it was now taking him. Satria had worked so hard only to be lost at the very grind he had struggled against. That's why I don't do anything with my life. I'm just kidding. I sighed, staring on into the early morning light, unsure of what the future will bring. I wonder if I will end up like him. One thing was certain though, I will never forget him. And I will never forget this odd night shift at the ICU. Normal ending. Mr. X epilogue? I sat on my couch watching TV. I had for a few weeks since Mr. X Organendra has been released from the hospital. The news had reported his imprisonment for drug trafficking, and I never heard about him since. Wait, what's this? In a tragic development, Ganendra Sanja was found dead in his prison cell earlier today. The cause of death is currently unknown, but sources say there was a woman handprint around his neck. Yeah, the ghost was going to get him eventually, right? I felt a chill run down my spine. Fatima. Has she truly claimed him in the end? The screen displayed a photo of Mr. X alongside a beautiful woman. The anchor continued detailing how Ganendra's fall from grace had shocked the community. People had admired him for a successful CEO, and no one knew how he became a drug addict. Still, he had made choices, probably because of the nail scratching, right? That led him down this path, and it was hard to pity someone who hurt his girlfriend for wealth. Yeah. Did Fatima find him at last, reclaiming what she had lost, or was it a manifestation of his guilt? I guess I will never know. Okay. Again, I feel like this game, it has a bunch of epilogues and endings, right? So I will go to extras, which is about 6 pictures, right? And I have 2 of them, so I have seen about 33% of the game, which is not a lot. You can see the credits here: AzureXTwilight, Irvan, Putra, Ratifuu. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your names. GUI, Enajori, Eric, Jeffrey Tan, NSAID, and Elseth. Okay, I feel like I really want to try once again, but I'm not sure what can I do to change the outcome, right? I got like normal ending, which is not a good ending, I feel like. Is there a way to save Satria? I don't think there is a way to save Satria, right? I got Mr. X epilogue, normal ending, Mr. X dies. And when Mr. X leaves, I get another 5 options, right? So there is a ghost in the empty rooms. So if I juggle empty rooms and Mr. X, but that's what I did, right? I chose Mr. X twice, then empty room, then Mr. X, then. What was the last room I chose? 105? 102? I don't remember. Okay, so I think for now, I'm gonna just finish the game. I know I usually 100% the games, but there's some things I want to mention about this game. First of all, amazing. The game looks beautiful. The art is amazing. I really like the main character. It's an incredible job, you know, being the main character of a horror game. I actually quite like all the characters. I think all of them are charming in their own way. I think Satria is like very tragic, but very interesting, very weird. Like the main character, it's very like down to earth. Like, what the hell is happening? But I have to do things. Maybe I'm imagining things. I'm not sure. She just keeps going. She's very dedicated. Like, even if she doesn't want to be a doctor, she's very dedicated to the patients, right? She's also really beautiful, just saying. But I think the ghost, it's the most beautiful. The last ghost I saw was very cute. The nurse was really, really funny. I like all of the characters in here. The stories are very interesting. I just think this game has some sort of a problem, I would say. It's not really a problem, but it's kind of convoluted to get things, right? Like, I understand that the time looping, the taking different choices. This game has a bunch of choices. I think you can make a total of 2, 4, 6, 10 choices in the game, I think. Like, you can choose rooms 10 times, I think, right? I don't know, I didn't do the math properly in my notes. Thankfully, I was taking notes, otherwise it would be so confusing. The game definitely needs a skip option. And if it does have a skip option, it definitely needs to be like up and front, right? Like skip or something in the menu, right? Like skip to the next choice or something, because reading the dialogues over and over and over again, it will take hours, right? And it's not hours of fun gameplay. I mean, the hours I've been playing were very fun because it was the first time, and I don't mind repeating the same dialogue once or twice. It's not a lot of dialogue, right? But I feel like I have to do it at least 5 to 6 times to get the entire 100% of the game, and that's too much, right? That's too much. Even if I cut the video, I will still have to play it myself, and it's kind of annoying, which is the only downside I feel to this game. But everything else is on point, like the story, the graphics, the music, the sound effects. The laugh sound effect was kind of silly, like the ha ha ha, the laugh track was kind of silly. I think that's the only instance of that I felt. But otherwise, really, really good. I did like the story. Very nice folklore added to this. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about Indonesian culture or like Sundanese stuff, right? I did my best to Google and translate as I was playing, and I do appreciate when games do that, right? When games like push you to learn new things, because yeah, we have seen the ghosts, we all know the classic ghosts, right? Like it's kind of boring to see. Even the Japanese ghosts are really mainstream. Yeah, you know, these Japanese ghosts, the teke and stuff like that, right? Which they are quite interesting, but we have seen them a lot, and it's nice to see like folklore and ghosts and like from a different culture, right? I do appreciate that, and I hope that the developers that made this game keep doing this kind of thing, because I definitely, for one, love to learn about cultures, about like through horror games. I mean, so yeah, I would just really recommend the skip option, or let me save like manually after each option, so I can just go back and load certain settings. I prefer the skip because you can go like much faster with the skip instead of having to load every time. And it's quite interesting. I don't think I have played a game that lets you take different choices at different times. Because right, you can, like, if you choose one room 101 at the beginning, the one with the little kid with the dengue aftermath, in the first time, it's the same thing as if you take it on the 7th time, right? You're just like beginning that story, and I don't think there's enough choices, maybe there is, to finish all of them, because I feel like Mr. X takes at least 4 of them, 3 of them, right? You have to invest 3, so maybe, because it says the Itch.io page. I'm sorry, I'm so confused about this game. The Itch.io page mentions that there is multiple endings and epilogues, but it doesn't say how many endings and how many epilogues, right? I feel the epilogue happens depending on what I do with Mr. X. I don't know. And like, yeah, multiple endings, but how many endings? Like one ending? Is there a true ending for this? It's one ending per every room, not including Mr. X. I would like to know, right? I like mystery in my horror games, but it will be nice for completion's sake that you show me how many endings can I get, right? Skip unseen text? What do you mean skip unseen text? Like skip scene text, right? Skip after choices? Transitions? Okay, maybe these are the options I was looking for, but why are there in the settings menu in the beginning? Extras is just pictures, right? Yeah, it's just, this one's amazing. I love this one. I love it. Very, very spooky, very intense. I like it a lot. And yeah, I think that will be all for me. Believe me, I would like to play the entirety of this thing, but I don't think I will be able to, right? Again, it will be too confusing for me to, like, it will be trial and error, it will be hours. And as much as I did like this game, I feel like that's the one thing that the game is failing, right? Like, failing at, it's like giving you the tools to replay it as much as necessary to, like, milk all the content from it. If the game ever gets updated with that fix, maybe I will try to complete 100% of the game. But as it is now, I will not get all the endings. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, developer, for making the game. Very nice, very spooky, very nice to learn new things. I will see you guys in the next indie game stream or whatever I decide to do with this channel. I'll see you later.